Welcome to Mindful Mondays with your boy Cook. I'm super excited to have you guys with me tonight. Topic for tonight is watch your circle in 2025. Welcome in, welcome in. When you come in, please share the live. I hope everybody had a safe and blessed Thanksgiving. Blessings on top of blessings. You see the topic at the bottom. Welcome in, welcome in. When you come in, please share the live. Share the live when you come in. Welcome in, welcome in. When you come in, please share the live. Appreciate you guys so much. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. When you come in, please share the live. Welcome to Mindful Mondays.
Hey.
Welcome
What's
in, welcome in.
on, Mr. Cook Cares? Happy Monday. How are you?
Blessed by the best.
That's good. That's good.
See the topic at the bottom. Watch your circle in 2025.
Mm, mm, mm. This year too, but we're gonna talk about 2025.
It's about weeks, what, 23 days, 30,
Mhm.
20, 28 days.
Alexa, how many days do we have until January 1st?
January 1st will start in 30 days.
13
on January 1st,
days.
2025.
Literally. Exactly 30 days.
Welcome in, welcome in. When you come in, share the live.
Welcome, welcome. Let me share. Let me do what I'm supposed to do to share. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, we're waiting for people to chime on in with us. How was your first day back after
Oh,
holiday break?
oh boy.
It was
Man,
a Monday.
it was a Monday.
hmm
That's all I'm going to say. It was
hmm
a Monday.
Oh my goodness. I can kind of sense some of that energy.
Mondays be them days.
Exactly. I already felt it. I'm still in the lab, so I get it for sure.
You know how the Mondays can be. Welcome in, patience. Welcome in. Appreciate you guys for always coming in, showing a brother some love each and every Monday and Thursday at 8:45 p.m. Keys, welcome in. Marquise, welcome in. We're gonna
Welcome. Happy Monday.
we're gonna get it started in about 1 minute.
All
I
right.
have my host with me tonight for Mindful Mondays.
Hey.
JG, welcome in. JG, appreciate you, Keys.
I don't know. Take this to your sister. Parenting never stops, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, everyone? Good evening.
The floor is yours.
Ooh, okay, you really just diving right in. All right, so the topic is watch your circle in 2025. Now, I've already stated, but don't start then. Don't start in 2025, right? That's why we're having a conversation now. Let's start in advance. And when I first saw the topic, the first thing I thought about was vision and why.
Mm-hmm.
If we're planning ahead, if we're putting our best foot forward, I always say the best bill before, that means that we're, in a sense, kind of forecasting an outlook on what we want our circle or our experiences or our success team to look like in the new year. So, first thing that came to mind is vision. And if I were to kind of answer the question for myself, I would say, the first thing is I want to have someone around me that's doing better than me. And I start there because I know that might be a little disruptive for some other people, right? Like when you talk about competition or you talk about, the measure of what someone else is doing, it can get a little bit sticky. However, if you are the smartest person in the room, your circle is not for you. You've outgrown that environment. So I
Mm-hmm.
say, in terms of vision, for me, specifically is to make sure that I'm around someone else that is doing better than me. And that could look like in skill set, in mindset. That's going to be hard to do in mindset, but in skill set, right? In money making or what have you. And then I also say the more specific, the more terrific. So it's not just, I want someone doing better than me. It's literally, what specifically do they do well that you would like to champion or rub off on or leverage in some type of way? And for me, that is definitely increasing my revenue. And so I want some more $1 million players in my circle. That's my being specific and making sure that my
Mm-hmm.
2025 looks better than 2024, right? And so I've grown and business is doing well, but it can always improve. And so definitely part of that vision, although it's not money driven or money hungry, I think millionaires have the mechanics necessary in order to be successful in anything that they do. So just
Mm-hmm.
being in that environment can literally change the trajectory of whatever it is that I'm personally putting forward. So I would kind of pause in that start and throw it to you, Mr. Cook
So
Cares. Like, tell me,
we
what do you think
so
of as far
we
as the vision for
we
your
we're gonna hop into it because it's like, let's think about, we're in the fourth quarter. It's the fourth quarter of 2024.
yeah.
Anybody know me, come the fourth quarter, we throw up the fours
Mm-hmm.
because it's time to go. It
Mm-hmm.
ain't no sitting back and waiting. But I can remember playing football though. Playing football, everybody knows my passion. Playing football, you get into that fourth quarter, and soon as the clock hit and that fourth quarter hit, we throwing up the fours. So it's on. So it's time to go harder than
Mm-hmm.
you did the first three quarters. It's time to
Mm-hmm.
take it to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
Going into 2025, you have to watch your circle because you are headed into a new year, a new season. So you head into a season where things are going to get better for you. So
Mm-hmm.
you might have some jealousy people. You
Mm-hmm.
might have some people that you might have to leave in 2024 because they haven't
Mm-hmm.
grown mentally or physically in the form of where you're trying to head to.
Yeah. Yeah. That environment.
So when you
Mm-hmm.
start walking into 2025, it will people going to look at you funny though. They're going to look at
Mm-hmm.
you funny because they're going to feel guilt. They want you to feel guilty. They want you to not make changes. They don't want you to do better than them, but
Mm-hmm.
they want to pull you back to your old ways. So they want to keep you in 2024 and not let you advance in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
So your vision got to be on a whole different level when you're trying to move out of that next chapter, move into that next chapter. But
Yeah.
let me take it back to this though. I can remember last Monday I spoke on people that pray on you, Pray, and people that
Mhm.
pray for you,
Mhm.
Pray. So there's a
Mhm.
difference, and that's the thing. We don't understand the difference, but you will figure
Mhm.
that out come January 1st because
Well,
you're gonna
again,
start seeing people fall
hopefully
off.
before there, Cook.
No,
Hopefully
no, no,
before
no,
that.
no.
That's how we have to think about
Sometimes it's gonna take that January 1st for you to
it.
understand it. You might know it, but you don't understand it.
Okay. Okay.
So you
That's
start,
when they get to see it for themselves, is what
you
you're
get to
saying.
see it. Everybody else been seeing it, but
Mm-hmm.
now it's time for you to visualize it. So
Mm-hmm.
once
Mm-hmm.
you visualize it, now you can start walking the rest of 2025. Sometimes you might have to walk alone. Sometimes you
Mm-hmm.
might have to walk with a group. It depends on who your circle is. And in that
Mm-hmm.
circle, are they watering you? Are they growing you?
Exactly.
So are them
Yeah.
your roots? Because you the tree. So you need them roots that's gonna grow you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I definitely like what you're putting down. Definitely the seed planting of making sure that you're starting now, but then not necessarily always being able to see it up front. Those changes that you've made and your
Mm-hmm.
community receiving. Now, we'll say, and this is not new for anyone who's been here with us before in this co-hosting platform. I mean, I think, Mr. Cook, you always have this, really good vantage point on your topics, obviously. But then when you add a maternal or a feminine perspective, or just
Mm-hmm.
a different perspective in there, it changes things just a bit. Because I think I hear a lot of reactiveness in a little bit of your
Mm-hmm.
perspective. I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's like, hey, once you've made these changes, you might get a side eye or two. But in a sense, my perspective is to make sure that you're making changes where you almost don't even notice them side eyes, because you've already locked and loaded with the people that are just clapping for you, that are just encouraging you. That you're not, it's good to consider that other alternative or that side of it, but I honestly think that if your focus is on who is not necessarily on board with you, you're going to not be able to appreciate the people who are locked in with you. And that is a
Mm-hmm.
significant difference in
That's
mindset
true.
perspective, in general. So, I mean, I think you still hit the nail on the head, honestly. And we're given, in a sense, kind of the best of both worlds. If you're
So
just worried about yourself and making your moves, and then boom, you come in and you're able to see those
mm-hmm.
changes and how you're moved, with you or not, right? And then the other side of that, where it's like you're not even worried about that, or you've done the due diligence proactively to make sure that you went out and found those people, you found your tribe that is gonna, celebrate and pour into your spirit and your vision accordingly. So, still
Cause that,
perfectly
cause
together is
like
even better, right?
to bounce back on that clapping, so that everybody clapping for you ain't for you. We seen that, that, yeah, that's the people, that's the Prey. They clapping hard, but they also got their
Mm.
hand out.
Oh,
So we
now
also
wait,
you
hold
gotta
on a
watch
second.
them. You gotta
I
you,
can't even
you gotta
imagine. I'm
watch
sitting
them.
here. Oh, you purposely clapping and still not for me? That's different, though. My brain is not
Hey,
quite ready
yeah,
for that concept. Like, but
hey.
I'm here for it because that is somebody's reality, right? Like,
That
obviously, you
could be
watch
somebody in
your
this live
stories.
reality right now.
Yeah, and I feel that. And I feel that. And so this is also obviously a direct conversation, to you as well, Mr. Cook. Like, forget him. You know what I'm saying? And I said
Oh
that
yeah.
respectfully speaking, but
Oh yeah.
also I feel still go back to the thought process that I shared in regards to making sure that you go out and find your people that
Mm-hmm.
make that front row just so darn supportive and so warm felt that you can't even see them haters, kicking in the nosebleed section. But
Some
so let's kind of
sometimes you gotta clap
transition
for
in.
yourself.
Oh, always you got to cover yourself. You got to start there.
You gotta pat
Amen.
yourself on the back and keep
Yep.
moving. But another funny part, and when we roll this out, and when I roll this topic out, it hits different avenues. It hit different ways because some people gonna think you're being funny. People gonna
Mm-hmm.
think you're better than them. But you begin to look around your circle, so you start noticing changes needed to be made. So you
Mm-hmm.
start noticing it in December of 2024.
Mhm.
So when you walk into January 1st, 2025, you already made some changes, but more changes going to happen because somebody else going to pull them people away from you, right? You have to admit you must be able to bring something to the table to be around these millionaires. So your
Yes, I was
mindset,
going
you got to have
right
a
here.
million, you got to have a millionaire mindset in order to sit at a table, because you can sit at the
Mhm.
table with a bunch of millionaires, but are your mindset prepared to listen, or are you just
Yeah.
going to talk? See, a lot of people just want to talk, so they talk themselves out of the millions, so they can't
Mhm.
understand how to make them that type of money.
Mhm.
Because where you
Mhm.
going to have to learn, you're gonna have to learn how to adapt. You got
Mhm.
to adapt
Yeah.
to your new environment. So when you flip that next chapter, January 1st, you got to adapt to the 2025. You got to adapt. Everything's gonna be about adapting. Just like when we got into the computer game, when we got into the social media, it was about adapting. Because we didn't grow up
Mhm.
on social media. We didn't
Mhm.
grow up sitting on a laptop in front of the
Exactly.
TV or playing video games online. We
Mhm.
had to adapt to what's today's society is. So it's the same thing. It's like a cycle. So you're
Mhm.
gonna have to adapt to your new circle.
Yeah, yeah. Mark EC 49 said you have to constantly keep your ego in check to do so. I really love that. Like honestly,
Mm-hmm.
you really have to eliminate your ego in order to make sure that happens. Keep cooking, Slim. He said also. I love that.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, when you speak on bringing something to the table, I think that's relative, especially in terms of who you are around. And I only say that because
Mm-hmm.
value add can be seen from a multiple of perspectives, right? So that's when tangible and intangible comes into the conversation, right? You could have that millionaire mindset, but asset wise,
Mm-hmm.
they have more than you. So
Mm-hmm.
there's still some type of value add opportunity in a sense that you would be looking for, that I would be looking for. And I think in a sense that goes back to kind of planning ahead. Like obviously I'm not going to come into that conversation or into that space or that environment with these millionaires and not know what I'm looking to get out of it,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing what I am intending to extract or leverage from the situation. You know what I mean? And that comes from knowing what type of millionaire you want to be, right? I'm very specific in regards to me wanting to be the marketing exec globally, right? So that already gauges what type of millionaires that I'm going to be talking to and like-minded persons to kind of move that vision forward. But next thing after vision, I notated skills building together. Oh my gosh, like, can we highlight more
Uh,
collaboration
so,
in
cause
2020?
that's the thing when you said the skills and collaboration is big,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of us don't help each other.
Mm-hmm.
And let me use this as an example.
Mm-hmm.
What I've noticed in 2024 when it comes to business, women support each other to a
Yeah.
different level.
Yeah.
Some men won't support each other because of ego.
Hmm.
Um, not all, some.
Mm-hmm.
I would say
Mm-hmm.
some, but I feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Someone they want a discount. They want
Mm-hmm.
30% off, 50% off, this and that. But
Mm-hmm.
if I feel like if this is your man and he owns his business, why not support him? Regardless of
Yeah.
what the
Exactly.
price is. I don't care if it's $20. Just spend the $20. That's what
Yeah.
it's about. It's about growing each other. But I have noticed that a lot of women do support each other when it comes to fashion. And they don't even, I'm not even talking like buying stuff. Y'all can
Mm-hmm.
see a woman out and be like, yeah, what she got on is fly.
Looks good.
Like, yeah, let
Yeah.
me
Giving
ask her,
compliments
like,
even.
let me
Mm-hmm.
ask her. Men don't do no compliments
And
because they feel
that's
like
great
it's
that you
more of
said.
a
No,
ego thing.
yeah, no, I agree. And I was gonna say, obviously ego, I'm assuming can, definitely play a part. I mean, women experience that maybe a little bit. I don't know, not myself, but I think also, especially in the collaboration conversation, I think it's also about framing what you want when you think about
Mm-hmm.
what it looks like when someone's supporting you. What does it look like to collaborate? I mean, I can say for myself from a marketing lens, I get a lot of offers where people want to quote unquote collaborate, but they don't know what they're collaborating on. Like,
Mm-hmm.
East 49 said, like, what is it that you're bringing to the table? I think maybe sometimes the communication could be a little lacking, male to
Mm-hmm.
male. You guys are very, very, very surface level, and sometimes that doesn't move the needle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even being specific in your intention to collaborate can maybe move that needle a bit more. I don't always think, and of course, this is not me sharing into a man's perspective, this is just the outside looking in, but I think not always this is about ego. I think men sometimes lack the clarity to know and then also communicate what it is that they're actually looking to connect on, what they're
Mm-hmm.
looking to collaborate on. And I think that obviously taints that collaboration experience as well. But I also think that it starts with just that one person. It starts with just your side, like normalizing the things that you think would be helpful to move a relationship will definitely help others just kind of pick up that baton or water that seed that you've planted, right? So, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'm not putting you, Mr. Cook cares, but hear me out, okay? Just
No, I get
regard
it. I
just
see
a
what you're
minute.
saying.
Let me ask you. This is an intentional question now. In the last 7 days, very
Mm-hmm.
in the last 7 days, have you complimented a man
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
specifically?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And give me us an example for someone who's never complimented a
For
man,
me,
right? Because this is what this platform is like, you setting the groundwork, the blueprint being laid.
so
What did
working
that
in,
compliment sound like?
so I can say, working in the school system, you see different guys wearing certain stuff. So I'll see like one of the social workers or one of the APs in something nice, and I'll be like, man, that's what's up. That's hot right there. I like that. And I'll tell
Mm-hmm.
them, but it's not like it's coming off as people don't. It might think it's coming off as a gay situation, but it's not. It's just like, yo, the fit hitting. Like
Mm-hmm.
certain things
Yeah.
I can wear, certain things certain people can't wear.
Yeah. Yeah. And so two things
So it
with that. One,
depends.
so here's my question. One, I feel like, again, we got to keep it honest. Realistically speaking, a man of your stature, well put together and, educated, when you compliment another man, I just very seriously doubt that they're thinking that you could
No, no, no,
possibly
no,
be
no.
gay.
I'm
Like,
not.
I
Yeah,
just think that's such
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah,
juvenile
yeah,
mindset. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, come on, damn it. Like, we can real recognize real,
right,
fit
right.
recognize, you know what I'm saying? So that's just the one thing. But then let me just take it a step further and say, have you given a compliment? And again, don't answer so quick, Mr. Cook, because you know I'm coming for the specifics. Have you ever given a compliment outside of a man's appearance? And if you did, literally think back to and tell me what was that compliment that was physical fit and style related. Can you think of
Oh
anything?
yeah, it's been plenty of times. I can say like with Marquise is that's my brother-in-law, but
Mhm.
it's been times I've complimented him on just being a great father. Like I've
Yeah.
noticed things that he do as a man, as a father, as
Mhm.
a role model, and I'll compliment him on that because
Yeah.
we don't get
Mhm.
growing up. I'm growing up. I didn't have the father figure. My
Mhm.
mom had her brothers, so they was like the dads to me. But when
Mhm.
you see a man that's your age doing what you're doing, but doing it to a tier that you can actually watch and be like, okay, let me put this in my mindset when I'm raising my son and my daughter, and
Mhm. Mhm.
it helps along the
Yeah.
way. So when you
Yeah.
see that and you compliment them on
Mhm.
what they
Yeah.
do and how hard they go, it
Mhm.
makes it makes sense.
Yeah, I love that. And it's those are the type of compliments that I think keep watering that mindset and that spirit moving forward. You know what I mean? Like I think those are the things when everything is quiet, you kind of play back scenarios that made you smile or that lifted your spirit some, and going back to those type of compliments that are not appearance related definitely fuels that process forward. So
Hmm.
I think that's a great segue into the third thing that came up when I think of um who to build with, and making sure that you watching your circle in 2025 is mental health check-ins. And
That's
I can
big.
expand so deep on that, but it really is about making sure that you have someone who is all around well for your being. And so that's
Mm-hmm.
mentally, that's physically, that's emotionally, that's spiritually. Like, you got to be making sure the people that you're keeping close to you are checking all of those boxes. And that mental health check-in is so deep, because I think it starts with us even knowing that we're in that space, and then also knowing kind of what we need to move out of that space or move through that
Mm-hmm.
space. I think just the check-in process in general is something that should be added into: how do these people support me? How does my community show up for
That
me?
should be
And
everyday life.
say, right? If I say, if you ask me how I'm doing and I'm like, yeah, and they just move on, those people are not checking in on your mental
No.
health, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I could tell, Mr. Cook, that Monday slapped you around a little bit, right? And of course,
Mm-hmm.
I'm an empath. I'm a slightly different breed, and so that I have to take that into consideration. But it's also because I'm connected to your well-being. I want you to win. I'm invested in your winning, and so if things don't sound exactly right, I'm not gonna just move on because I asked you how are you and you gave me
Yeah,
this
that's just
half-ass
that.
answer. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm gonna come
Mm-hmm.
on back and let's talk about
You
it.
gotta
And even
will
you
it back in.
saying like the day date on you, that's still you being able to be, transparent about where you are mentally, and then allow people to kind of proceed accordingly from there,
And
right? So
and it's funny you say that because I do it with my students. So when my students come in my office, they see me every morning. I speak, good morning, how was your weekend? How was your Thanksgiving? Just because we don't know what kids didn't even have a Thanksgiving.
yeah,
So we got to play that into, because that's a mental thing. But
yeah,
I made a post. I posted something probably like last week or probably 2 weeks ago. And I said, if you're having suicidal thoughts, I'd rather hear your story than attend your funeral.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
real because so many of us are going through things that we don't
Mhm.
conversate, we don't talk about. And
Yeah,
I feel like we gotta start having this dialogue of why Mindful Men was created, is to give men and young men a platform so we can have a conversation with no
yeah,
judgment. That's
yeah,
what it's about. Because
yeah.
we're walking in 2025, we're gonna walk together.
Hmm.
We
Hmm.
ain't we ain't walking current caskets. We walking
Yeah,
same
yeah.
steps, same path, helping each other grow at the same time.
Yeah, and I think that you mentioned something that people usually kind of say in passing, and I'm going to be honest with you, it kind of cringes me a bit when people, drop that S word into the chat, and they say it in such a
Mm-hmm.
casual way. But of course it comes up when you discuss mental health, and so I always like to come back and pause and just kind of take a moment to really put that into perspective. Like, that is a real thing, like high percentage, like well over 70%. And
Mm-hmm.
especially during this seasonal depression time, like, that is a real thing. But I say that I need to come back and do more than just kind of graze over it, to say, the same example that you use with your young ones, that you would rather hear this story over, reading their obituary, for lack of a better
Mm-hmm.
terms, right? I think something even deeper than that, that kind of puts it into context, is also being able to be transparent that that's where it is, right? Like, I've read this article, and the lady was like, they developed, once she lost someone, so this was a reactive measure, but once she lost someone, she kind of could see the signs once she went back and reflected. And
Mm-hmm.
as a result of that, she developed this kind of concept, and I think she called it like an 8-minute rule or something along those lines. So those people who already were kind of known for having some type of mental health challenges, she just said, hey, just tell me, I got 8 minutes for you, right? Like, eight
Mm-hmm.
minutes is a long time when you really think about it. And if you're just like on a vent rant, and you're going to be uninterrupted for that 8 minutes, you're going to be able to get off a lot, right? But
Mm-hmm.
it's important from a two-way standpoint that you're not dumping on people. However, it's important that you're transparent, that you're at that point where you need to dump. And if we don't know, we can't necessarily, take any action that helps you come off of that ledge, so to speak. And so I kind of wanted to pass on that seed that, I absorbed in reading
Mm-hmm.
and learning just ask someone like, hey, you got 5 minutes, you got 8 minutes. I need this 8 minutes. I need this 5 minutes. And I'm pretty confident if you got the right people, they'll
Yeah.
yield to that. Like, we all live our lives, but when somebody says something like that, it should kind of stop you in your tracks to, handle the business accordingly. And so,
It's almost like let's be their umbrella instead of being their announcer.
mm, okay. Feeling it.
Because some people are holding the umbrella, but also holding the bullhorn.
Mm,
So they
interesting.
covering you, but they still telling your business. So it's kind
Mm,
of like, are you being, because you're gonna hear this, you're gonna hear it from somebody else. You always going that story can always come back.
mm-hmm.
If you told somebody something, you expect them not to say anything, but
Yeah.
at the same time, coming from a counselor position, when I talk to my students, I gotta let them know in the beginning, like, this is the deal. If you plan on hurting yourself, hurting somebody else, it's got to be reported. It's just, it's just normal.
Of course.
But most of the time, it's just them coming in, just having somebody just listen. It's just about
Mm-hmm.
having somebody listen,
Yeah.
because they might not be
Exactly.
getting that at home.
Yeah.
They might not, and that's where they come in when you're raising your kids. We gotta have when you have conversations, just listen to them.
Yeah.
They'll tell you everything. Just
Yeah.
listen.
And maybe even plant some keywords in there, like similar to the 8 minute thing. Having some type of code word that person or your safe place people know that this is that moment. You know what I mean? Like, one of my previous clients, they always said, "All right, real talk." That was when they were about to kind of get a little heavy on me, and it sounds very casual. You know what I
Right.
mean? Unless we pre-discussed it, no one else would have know otherwise. But when I hear it, I know, minimize distraction and zero in, because this is about to be something a little bit heavy that I'll have to, figure out how to decipher or help that person with or what have you. So, yeah, but mental health check-ins 100% should be a part of the who you keep in your circle for the
Oh,
2025.
definitely,
And so,
definitely.
coming in number 4, noted to plan for fun. Who is in your circle that you have fun with? Like, if we're not having more fun in 2025 after how dusty 2024 was for most of us, like, what are you doing, right? And so
Hmm.
there are so many influencers, there's so many blogs, there's so many platforms on social media that they're sharing like a just free information of things to do that are, low maintenance, free even, but planning some fun and then having people that you can actually have fun with. Now, I know that gets sticky because some people don't like the people. I'm one of those people, right? But there's the time and place for everything. And I think being able to plan for something to look forward to, whether it's a walk, whether it's bowling, whether it's skating, or whether it's, a craft or what have you,
Hmm.
like having some fun vibe and people that you can call to kind of pull up for you in that aspect, I think is a really good thing to keep in mind for 2025. Before I move on, you got something to add to that?
Definitely so, because I feel like, you know, you gotta have fun. You gotta
Mm-hmm.
enjoy life. We know life
Yeah.
is short. So I was always taught the more you smile, the longer you live. So it's about
Yeah.
smiling and enjoying the moment. Um
Exactly.
Definitely you gotta get people around you that just know how to have a good time. I
Mm-hmm.
don't care if you're going, see me, I like karaoke. So I'm
Okay,
gonna be the
dude.
one up there singing, I'm gonna rap, I'm gonna do it all.
I like
And
karaoke.
it's
I
just
like to just
fun.
watch.
It's just fun though. Like,
It
and
is so fun.
you don't gotta know how to sing to do it. It's just
No, you
fun.
don't.
Like,
Please don't know how to sing. This is not Apollo.
well,
This is karaoke.
yes.
Okay. The worse you are at it, the more
The
fun it
more
is.
fun it is, right? So it's like
Right?
you just got to do different things and get in that environment and just
Yeah.
have
Yeah,
fun,
for sure.
enjoy life.
I love it. Too easy. Okay, so I got the next thing is this might be a little bit tricky, but hear me out. Emergency preparedness. Now, don't think of money, even though you should, but
Nah.
not in this case. Emergency preparedness is really more of a thought process than it is an actual tangible thing, right? Even if it's like having a
Mm-hmm.
conversation with your little about what to expect when something is not right, right? That's an emergency preparedness. If for my married folks, when things get a little sticky in the conversation. Having an emergency preparedness to know when to stop and reset and go to your
Mm-hmm.
corners and take a beat and come back, that is an emergency preparedness. So there's multiple perspectives of that I could contribute. But I think the two words in itself, emergency preparedness, if you don't
Mm-hmm.
have something those lines, then again, this is where you come into pouring into your circle or your village or your community to find out how to frame those things. I think it's important to highlight that where we are in our world now, we're going to leave the politics out of it, but
Right.
so we got to prepare a little bit differently.
We
We got
gotta.
to start investing in some tactical measures and applications that make sure if ish hit the fan, we are prepared, whether that's getting a concealed to carry, whether that's going to the gun range every once in a while, whether that's getting into a self-defense class or what
Mm-hmm.
have you. Some type of measure to make sure that we're prepared in an emergency scenario.
And that's
Well,
and
gotta have.
that's when you come into you gotta shift gears.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that emergency is shifting gears. So it's like if you ever drove a stick before, it tells you when you gotta shift from 1 to 2 to 3 and 4,
Mm-hmm.
stuff. It tells you. So
Mm-hmm.
walking into right now in 2024, it's telling us shift your gear. Go do
Mm-hmm.
what you need to do to plan for your emergency. You gotta
Yeah.
you gotta handle business, go handle your business. And
Yes.
it's not
Consumer.
about and like you said, it's not about people thinking like emergency funds. That's
Mm-hmm.
great to have too, but we talking more of on a emergency mindset, emergency.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
Yeah.
understand each other.
Yeah.
Let's get to the point where when we shift that gear, we shifting into with the right energy. We not
Absolutely.
shifting to the wrong energy.
Mm-hmm.
Good
Exactly.
evening, Glitter Bandit Nails.
Yes. What's up, Taylor Financial with T? I love it. All right. If the financial wellness has entered the chat, okay, she's definitely going to be able to shout out to the emergency
Yeah.
preparedness. But okay, so sixth thing, next on the list after emergency preparedness is to celebrate wins, big or small. When we think about who is watching in your circle or in your circle, like we of course already somewhat mentioned it with the whole clapping for yourself and making sure that people around you are also clapping for you as well. But I think the celebration of small and or big wins is so significant because life is hard, right? And I think that we go through so many things that we champion or that we survive, and we
Mm-hmm.
don't give ourselves enough credit for it. Like when
Facts.
the week has really weaked on us and Friday has come around, we're just like we go right into rest mode. But
Mm-hmm.
where's the celebration that we made it, that it's over now, that we did a good job, or that one thing that we thought was going to take us out, it didn't, because we're still standing. Like whether big or small, those celebrations need to happen. And that also means that, of course, you're going to start with celebrating yourself, clapping for yourself. That's fine. But sometimes you got to have the right people in your circle so that you're even sharing those small wins or
Mm-hmm.
big wins, so that people can also know to celebrate you. I know a lot of people, and I've seen it so many times on memes and things of that nature, and they're like, I suffered in silence, so I'm going to celebrate in silence. And hey, to each his own. That works for a lot of people as well.
Yeah,
I
it
definitely
does. Yeah.
to being silent when you're moving around on things. However, I think there's also such a great benefit in making sure that you have safe people in your circle and in your community that you can share those things with, because they really are able to highlight things that you miss. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like being able to
Definitely.
wake up in the morning and I don't know, have a carton of eggs in your refrigerator so that you can, make yourself an omelet. Like that's a small win, but it's a win. Some people don't have
Yeah,
eggs in
that's
their
kind of
refrigerator.
like a
You know what
big
I mean? Like
win.
I
Uh,
simplified it so much, but it's so you know what I'm saying? Like the point
Like
is,
almost
whether big
like
or
having
small,
food
I
now
think
is kind of
acknowledging
big.
and celebrating ourselves more, that
Mhm.
is 100% something to take into 2025 with your circle. What say you, Mr. Good?
But yeah, I agree. Celebrating the small ones, the big wins. But like I said, I spoke on a topic probably months ago about winning wounded.
Mm-hmm.
You
Sure did.
you
It's one of my
wounded,
favorites.
so but you got to bandage yourself and keep winning. Like
Yeah.
it's just the same thing is going on.
Hmm.
Like we walking out of 2024, we wounded.
Yeah.
Like ain't no if hands about it, but it's like how are you going to bandage yourself up and keep winning? How are
Yeah.
you willing to say, okay, I failed, but I ain't staying down? Just like the
Yeah.
song says, we fall down, but we still get up. And it's the same
Hmm.
thing. You can fall
Yeah.
down all day,
Yeah.
but are you going to quit when you fall or are you going to keep moving when
Yeah.
you fall? It's still a
Yeah.
win. Just because you failed, that's a win.
Yeah.
Because your comeback is going to be way bigger than what you failed at.
Yeah, and to answer your question, because I don't really think scenarios like this or topics in this type of space should be rhetorical. What do? Rest and restore. People who know me
Same,
know I will
same thing.
go and fade to black real quick, okay?
Hey,
Nothing
Jay
in my
Z.
business is an emergency. So, with that being said, if it takes nothing to literally put that phone down and put it on silent so you can't be interrupted and literally only see and do what is in front of you. If you can't
Mm-hmm.
see it, it doesn't matter. That is the way that I personally reset, rest, and it helps me restore so that as people have heard, in a number of people's voices, like you got to be able to pour from a healthy cup. So,
Mm-hmm.
that is kind of what to do in order to get it done. But then, once you're in it, then find something that kind of
Pull,
keeps fueling that momentum to
great
going.
quote. Pull from a healthy cup
Yeah, for sure. Oh, for
because,
sure, for sure. Especially that's mostly for givers, and me. I'm a
but
giver, right?
if you're pouring into somebody, who's pouring into you?
Ooh, don't make me cry over here.
So
We
that's
gonna
what is this. That's what we got to do. We
we're gonna
gotta.
make that one rhetorical. Just kidding, just kidding. I have a healthy pour over here of a community.
Of course,
Sometimes I think everybody could just do better, but hell, somebody could say that about me. So we just gonna move right on.
my brother
Okay,
over
and then the
there.
last thing, kind of accountability partners. That is what it
Mm,
all comes down to. No more yes men in 2025. We don't need them. We don't want them, and they don't help us. Thank you, but no thanks. Like telling me what I want to hear does not
versus
help me
telling
win. It
me
doesn't
what I
help me
need
stay
to hear.
sharp. Oh, yeah. Give me what I need. Give me what I need. Forget what I want because probably you don't even know that anyway. So definitely having some type
Mm-hmm.
of accountability partner that's close to you, right? Because if they're only keeping you accountable for surface level things, you know what I mean? That's not really what I'm talking about. But for that thing that you mentioned a month ago, that you said you were going to do, but you haven't really done it, right? Somebody to kind of nudge you into the reminder direction, that
Mm-hmm.
gentle push to make sure that you're staying on what you said you wanted to do for yourself. That definitely goes back into having people around you that want to see you win. And for sure, that's the best kind of accountability partner. That I had seven things.
Man,
We seven. That's it.
having an accountability partner goes a long way, and
Absolutely.
that's your support system from your significant other, like me, from my wife to my
Mhm.
kids to having that balance, and because when you have somebody that's accountability, they're not hating on you. Like
Mhm.
he just said, how do you balance between accountability and hating? It
Mm.
See, having accountability is somebody that's supporting you, that's praying, PRAY. That's not they praying for you, not praying over you, on you. So you got your haters. We all need them. We all need our haters because them
Mhm.
haters gonna help you prosper. You see
Mhm.
them, but you still moving though. They not holding you
Yeah.
back. They not holding you back from winning because you gonna have them type of you gonna have them type of people, and if they not hating on you, that means you ain't doing enough anyway.
That part, I was gonna say
You
the
ain't
same
doing enough
thing.
anyway.
Today,
Yeah, you
Kevin,
ain't doing
Kevin
enough.
Hart, who is he?
Cat
Cat
Williams
Williams.
said,
Cat
yeah,
Williams said, "I'm gonna need at least two more haters for the year's over." Okay, that's the
exactly.
mindset that I keep. But to specifically answer your question, Marquise 49, how do you balance between accountability and hating? I don't really think it's something that you balance. If I'm being
Mm,
honest, I think it's more something um that you decipher,
right.
that you discern, right? Because if someone is hating on you, you can hear it in their tone. You can
Oh
see it in
yeah,
their
definitely,
disposition. You can
definitely.
see it when they show up in certain scenarios, right? Those accountability partners, they're going to be there when it's great and they're going to be there when it's not
So
so great. But those people that are hating, they only show up when it's going to work your
when
nerves real
it's
good.
gonna
That's
benefit them.
Oh yeah, that's how you got to hear the difference. You got to feel the difference, and it's really not about balance. And I think
So
our bodies and spirits kind of balance it out all by itself, but knowing what to process it as, I think makes all the difference. Just to take
some
it out a little
some
bit step further, I think a lot of people see accountability as
mm-hmm,
like a comfortable thing, and it is,
mm-hmm.
right? But you got to know who to take
Who
that
can
discomfort
take with you?
from,
And
right?
then
What you
what what
keep, what you
what
leave.
haters? What you'll notice about haters, this is what they say. You still got your small podcast going.
Ooh, not small. They don't say small, Mr. Cook. They don't say that.
You you
Send me to the
you you
put me in
you
their
still
direction.
don't you still doing that small business. You
That
everything
little business,
has something with little and small
that little
among your
business, yeah,
haters
say that
because
together.
the thing is they hating because they couldn't do it. They couldn't win.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't
Yeah.
finish the process. They quit.
Mm-hmm.
They quit
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
along the way. But having
Mm-hmm.
accountability partner, man,
Yeah.
it's amazing having that person that's going to count on you, that's going to pour into you when you pour into them.
Yeah.
It ain't
Yeah.
no sugarcoating. It ain't no yes man. They
Mm-hmm.
just keeping it 100 and y'all moving through to the next chapter.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you nailed it. And so since this is just supposed to be a little teaser for our question and answers on Thursday, I'm gonna
Oh
run it back
man,
from the top. There was only seven, but
Serenade
that could be
is
a
crazy.
lot. No problem for the clarity. So I'm gonna run it back. And then so what I would like overall is for us collectively, because I'm in this too, to listen to what we need to tweak, what we might not
Mm-hmm.
feel is up on the up because we still have 30 days, as Alexa told us, to get this thing in line and be proactive with what we want our 2025 to look
Mm-hmm.
like. So, starting with number one, it was vision alignment. Number two was skill building together. Collaborations.
Mm-hmm.
Number three was mental health check ins. Number four was plan for fun. Number five was emergency preparedness. Number six was celebrate wins, whether big or small. And number seven was
Mm-hmm.
accountability partners. So, I mean, if I'm just starting with myself, the first thing that I'm going to do more, better is for sure plan for fun. Now, mine's is light. So, that might be different for everyone, but I challenge you for sure. Like, think about which one of these things, of these seven things that don't really hit it the way you want to hit it, and it didn't in 2024, and then how it can be better in 2025. But even better than that, on Thursday for Q&A, give us at least one or two
Yeah,
questions
we gotta.
of the things that you think aren't quite there, and let us help with bringing that to better impact. Right? Let's help you close the gap on how to make some actionable moves, some things that move the
Mm-hmm.
needle into setting this up better for you in 2025. Like that's exactly why Mr. Cook shows up weekly, twice, right? Because we want to plant the seed on
Twice a
Monday,
week
then we want to water that thing
on
on Thursday,
Thursday.
okay? So please come back on Thursday and share some insights about this exchange and kind of how it helped you and how you're looking to plan and set up your 2025 a little bit better. And if you aren't setting it up now, right, this is your sign to do so. But also, if you're a
Mm-hmm.
man or a man who's connected to young guys, like think of Mr. Cook Cares, think of Mindful Men as a safe place for you to plant those questions so that he can bring it to the community or process it in his own excellence and experience to just kind of help us work through it, help you work through it. Okay, that's my piece.
And it's about adapting. Going into 2025, you got to know how to adapt. You got to
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
understand everybody's not coming with you, and it's
mm-hmm.
okay. It's
Oh
okay
yeah.
to
Oh yeah.
leave people where they are, and they might say,
Absolutely.
hey, "You changed." Nah, I just grew up.
Mm, come on.
So
JC said it best.
you got to understand that you ain't just. They know you for who you are. They don't
Mm-hmm.
know you for who you are now. See, there's a
Yeah.
difference in somebody knowing you for who you were. See, people know me. They know Cook for Southeast Cook. So,
Mm-hmm.
so now they starting to realize this is the new cook. This ain't the cook
That,
from old. This the and regardless of where I go, I get love. But it's
mm-hmm.
just about understanding where we
Mm-hmm.
are today.
Yeah.
How you going to get that accountability partner?
Mm-hmm.
Who is praying on you and who is praying for you? It's
Mm-hmm.
about understanding accountability. It's about understanding who is going to cheer you on when you
Mm-hmm.
walk the stage, when you open up the platform and you on stage speaking.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
who gonna show up?
Mm-hmm.
Who gonna show up? It can be one person. That's fine. That one person
Yeah.
that show up can turn into a million people. You could be next thing you looking up. You speaking at the MGM. You speaking overall all over the world.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
doesn't matter. So it's about you moving forward and continue to push forward in your journey,
Yeah.
your next chapter.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
about
And
adapting.
quality over quantity, right? Because if it's just
Mm-hmm.
one solid person on your team, like, please don't be confused by the vanity metrics of social media. That one is all you need. I promise you.
Exactly.
I promise you. It's just one good solid person. If you got one good solid quarter in your freaking coin system, you are getting it
Just one.
right. So yeah, just need one. I think that's super, super important. I love the way, we at least get to show up and start planning that conversation proactively. I know a lot of people are planning for their 2025 already, but I know a lot of people who aren't. I know a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
who just don't even have the bandwidth to look that far. And so that is also a sign that it's time to get you a new village, a better village, more
More
village,
village. So
more village. Yeah.
we'll definitely be back Thursday.
Yes.
Q&A and conversation, 8:45 p.m. Get your
Mm-hmm.
people in here
Yeah.
because it's gonna be epic. It's gonna be something that
Absolutely.
you might want to think about. Get them questions ready.
Yeah.
Let's have some fun. Let's enjoy the moment. But it's okay to come on live. You might
Mm-hmm.
drop a tear or two. It's okay.
Oh,
Everybody
vulnerability
drop a tear.
is so beautiful. Yes, transparency and vulnerability, they're very different, but the vulnerability unlocks a new level of community
Mm-hmm.
that you had no idea. So be encouraged. And definitely, I love when people actually pop into the live because, of course, chiming into the comments is fun and we'll read those and it's great. But I think it's important sometimes for people to see where the story is
Mm-hmm.
coming. And
And
so they pop it in, it's good.
let me leave you with this though. This is something that is strange, but it's real. Going into 2025. Well, let's talk about December right now.
Mm-hmm.
December 2nd, 2024. This is for my men. When you walk past another man, speak.
Please.
Don't mean mug.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to speak. I don't care if you nod your head like
Mm-hmm.
what's up. I don't
Mm-hmm.
it's not you don't have to extend your hand, you ain't got a fist bump, but just extend what's up. That's
Mm-hmm.
all you gotta do.
Mm-hmm.
Because you never know if that person, anybody today even said good morning, hello, blah blah blah, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Come on, fellas. It's
For
time
sure.
to change the cycle.
Mm-hmm.
It starts
Mm-hmm.
with us.
Now I know this is Mindful Men and a platform specifically tailored to the man's perspective, but since I'm here, sis, go on take that same advice too, because that is low key a problem in the feminine world. Okay, with the side eyes and the grants and the looking away,
Yep.
specifically avoiding the opportunity to speak and say hello, like. That definitely is the smallest and the low risk way to start lifting your community a little bit better. Just a smile, just a nod, like you said, like that literally is for anyone. Honestly, if you're wanting to welcome some different positivity and some different energy into your space, it definitely starts with the people that you don't even know and that you
Yep.
don't even talk to. And that energy will return, I promise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But look, that's
This is
our
it.
time for the night. I'll be back. We'll be back Thursday at 8:45 p.m. for Q&A and conversation. I'll be posting that soon. It's gonna be big. I'm trying to tell you, get your people in here. It's gonna be big. Big shouts
I
out to
appreciate
my host, man. If y'all
you.
need anything going on, House of Privilege Marketing, she does everything. Ain't nothing she don't do. She does everything.
That is
She should be
so
running.
true.
You should be running for president, but we gonna
No.
not the U.S. president, but not that. No, I ain't
you,
nobody.
you know I know. Shut that mess down right
You
now. But
you
shout out to you for
overqualified.
having me. I really appreciate it. Definitely, I am your favorite CMO. If it's fashion, if it's food, if it's fitness, you can definitely think of me. Deaf to the solopreneurs, okay? So if you need some
Mm-hmm.
help framing your pitch, or you need help building your ecosystem, or just showing up better, more, differently for your digital and social marketing, definitely House of Privilege is ready to hold you down, and the Marketing Factory too. Thanks so much, Mr. Cook.
Appreciate you.
See ya.
Peace.